Da-na-na-na,
Hi. Welcome to the Silver-Plated Rhinoceros News. You're here with Gus Seymour, Amelia Earhart Johnson.
And I am Abraham Jesse Owens III Johnson IV. How are you?
Johnson and Johnson. So, we have a very special episode of news for you tonight. We've been broadcasting here at the Silver Duckling News for about 10 years.
10 years.
A full decade. So, on tonight's episode, we're going to recap everything that's happened in this wonderful decade that we have, the Roaring 20's.
We're going to give you the main points of what's going on in this decade. We're going to talk about the Scopes monkey trial. We're going to go a little bit into the Sacco and Vanzetti trial.
Sacco, Vanzetti, what are they?
About immigrants and everything like that. We're going to talk about the Harlem Renaissance and maybe a little bit of the jazz era. And we're going to talk about the economy and the crash of this year, 1929. It's been very, very tough lately, but we're going to cheer up your day.
So you're in for quite the surprise. We may even have a special guest on the Jazz Age, one of our very own jazzers. And it's going to be a very informative newscast. So.
Yeah, stick around, give you some previews of stuff, maybe give you a couple sports casts. You know what? You're going to have a good time. So for the next little bit of time, you're just going to sit back, relax, and we're gonna make it fun for them, aren't we?
Johnson and Johnson, out.
Preview.
Coming soon to a cinema near you, a story of a man cleaning up the streets from the scum of Westville.
Johnny West.
Help! Come and save me!
Hey, you!
Who are you?
You alright, son?
Yes, thank you, Johnny West.
Watch my movie. Me and Pickles
Johnny
clean
West.
up the streets.
See it now.
We're going to take it back. Way back. 5 years ago. Back in 1925. I'm sure you know it. I'm sure you've heard of it. And I'm sure you got an opinion. Scopes monkey trial. You know what it is. It was way back then when it's formerly known as the state of Tennessee versus John Thomas Scopes, now known as the Scopes monkey trial. It's when a science teacher in 1925 broke the Butler Act by teaching evolution in school. He did this on purpose to get a case, and he sure did get a case.
You know what? The weird thing is, if we remember it, Scopes was found guilty.
He was.
But he was only fined a small amount of money.
Yeah.
But the two lawyers who came in, very, very, very well-known lawyers, we had William Jennings Bryan, a three-time presidential candidate, a Democrat. He came in to work with the prosecutors. Everybody knows William.
Well-known fundamentalist.
Well-known fundamentalist. And coming in for to represent Scopes was Clarence Darrow. He was probably, you would say, one of the most famous defense attorneys at that time. Am I correct?
You are.
Do you know what we did? As great as we are, we brought in a well-known doctor, Dr. Hambone Manapology, all right?
He studies
Law.
this case.
He
and law.
basically,
I study.
he knows everything about this case.
I know everything.
So, doctor, give me your input. You were there. What was your main opinion on this big
You know
case?
what? Give us an overview. Tell us all you know in that big old brain of yours about the Scopes monkey trial.
I think the pivotal point of the entire case was when Clarence Darrow put
Jennings Bryan, you're trying to talk about. Yeah.
James Bryan on the stand, and he asked him a question about time regarding to the creation of the earth. He said, it was talking about a week, and Bryan did not know if a week was an actual 7-day week, and a fundamentalist should think this because the Bible says it. So, in my humble opinion, that is the pivotal point of this case.
So what you're saying that William Jennings Bryan went against what he thought as a fundamentalist because the Bible isn't exactly true.
He basically said that the Bible wasn't word for word accurate, and he said that he was a fundamentalist, and I think everyone was sitting there not knowing what to believe.
Well, you know what? He did get in trouble for this case. He did get fined. But what it really did was bring this to light. They saw a flaw in the justice system, and it really just went on from there.
If you ask me, Johnson, I'm gonna think this through. I think evolution's a cool thing, man. You come up from a monkey into a person, but you know what? I'm not a lawyer.
You know what? He does look a lot like you there,
Yeah, you
Gus
know,
Johnson.
he does. He kind of does look like me.
And that's what we got for the Scopes Monkey trial.
Commercial.
Is your wife not cleaning your home up to par?
Are the crumbs still stuck in the carpet from the week before?
Believe it or not, it's not your wife's fault.
Not my fault.
Hi, I'm Adam Lawski, and I'd like to introduce you to the vacuum. Are you having trouble picking stuff up off the ground because your wife can't do it?
I can't.
The vacuum is made to suck the crumbs up off the ground. It's this easy.
I know what I want for Independence Day.
So call now, or order off the Sears catalog, and this vacuum can be yours.
Call 911 Happy Wife to get your wife's life right.
And now we're here to talk about... No more Scopes Monkey. We're here to talk about the Sacco and Vanzetti case.
That's a while ago. That was the beginning of our broadcast, if I'm correct.
Beginning 1920. I remember carving in the story back when I was just a young lad in the newsroom. Well, you probably know, but Sacco and Vanzetti were two Italian immigrants from Massachusetts. They worked in a shoe factory. They were underprivileged. And, it wasn't a good situation for them. Well, the case happened when the owner was murdered. They were the two prime suspects. Why wouldn't they do it?
You know, Fernando Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, it's a big, big debate on whether they actually did it or not.
We don't even know now. 9 years in the future. We still don't know.
You know, people are debating these were two Italian immigrants. They could have been angry over everything. They weren't treated correctly. But the police targeted them, and the trial became a national event, if you remember that.
It did.
Remember that. It became a national event.
I remember back there at the protest over in OO.
And I remember,
1920.
after the controversial series of appeals and everything, just 2 years ago, 1927, Vanzetti and Sacco were both executed.
That is crazy stuff.
So you know what? The great news team that
Hold
we
on.
have...
Now, before we go to our expert on the Sacco Vanzetti case, I just want to give you a little more input on what happened, just in case you lived under a rock that past 9 years. There was a lot of circumstantial evidence. There was no hard facts. They couldn't find a murder weapon, nothing like that. They had motive, maybe location, and if it was anybody else, they would not have been tried. But these immigrants, they got put on the trial.
You know what? That just sounds unfair. But you know what? The great news team that we are, we brought in two experts, all right? First, we brought in Dr. The Giraffe, as he's known.
The Giraffe. Sorry, I thought your name was William Jennings Bryan III.
No, I actually changed it.
Dude, that was a joke, because the whole confusion, they mixed up the names. But anyway, back to the story. We brought in Dr. The Giraffe, Cole Flashenberg. Cole, how do you feel about this? You're you believe immigrants are okay, it's alright to allow immigrants in. What is your opinion on this murder?
Well, you see, I was very close to Sacco and Vanzetti, actually.
You were?
Yes, I met them as they were young immigrants coming into to Massachusetts, and I mean, I feel awful about what happened. I think it was they totally blamed them because of their heritage.
They needed someone. Scapegoat.
Yeah,
Needed a scapegoat.
Needed scapegoat?
Scapegoat?
Anyway, so you've always been very liberal on this. You think that immigrants are okay, but you believe that they weren't involved in the murder?
Right. I believe that they were framed because of their heritage. Like I said, they were the only scapegoat that they had. They were factory workers, and their boss did not treat them well. Now, this doesn't mean that they killed them, because they were very nice men, and they were not violent at all. However, I think the police framed them, and I think their boss's family had framed them just to get away with maybe a murder of someone else.
Thank you, doctor. And as my partner stepped out, I'm actually going to come in and interview another person. I'm going to interview a man who believes the exact opposite of what happened, okay?
Hey, I just got this guy from the front door. We have Dr. Michael Scott O'Neill, the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. He knows all there is to know about Sacco Vanzetti.
Okay. As my partner steps out for a second, I'm going to interview you. Now, what's your opinion on the Sacco and Vanzetti trial? Do you think they committed the murders?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got two immigrants, and I mean, they come into America. they're scared and they step foot on this land, and then they go and they get a job and they get paid and it's great, and then they get fired. And the boss, I mean, let's put it this way, he was not a nice guy. I knew him personally, not a nice guy at all. And they were treated, I mean, like immigrants, like, you know, how I would treat an immigrant. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, so they get fired and they didn't have an alibi. And they were there. I mean, like, you don't have a murder weapon, but, I mean, they're immigrants. They probably found a way to get rid of them. They know someone over the border. I don't know.
Alright, so you're saying even if there isn't any specific amount of evidence, just because they're immigrants, they did this?
No, absolutely not. They got fired. I can understand. You want revenge. You want to, you know, take what is yours. They wanted a job. They got the job taken from them. They basically wanted a reason to kill him. And they got their reason.
You heard it here. This Sacco and Vanzetti trial was crazy. It was one of these crazy evidence. My fault. Crazy things that happened in the past decade. Signing off.
Nose.
Break.
And out to Long Island for a news break.
Hi, Adam Lawski here. We just had a report that John Dillinger, the famous bank robber, has actually now been breaking into houses and doing house robberies. We do not know why, but we actually had the ability to catch up to some of the people it affected. Excuse me, sir, did John Dillinger affect you with anything? Did he go into your house?
John Dillinger is a bad man. John Dillinger stole so much from me. I don't know where to begin. My dignity, the wind beneath my wings, my hair, my saddle. John Dillinger murdered my horses in cold blood. I'm out for vengeance.
You see what he's doing? You see what John Dillinger's doing? We actually...
John Dillinger skinned my favorite raccoon. John Dillinger cut up my favorite ferret and made ferret soup.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We're going to catch up with another person right here.
Dillinger.
What did John Dillinger do to you, sir?
Well, he stole my 6-year-old's pack of cigarettes, and he stole my grandmother's cane, and he started walking with it, like, and mocking her, and I thought that was mean. And yeah.
That's it?
No, he actually broke my my rocking chair, and that is it.
Okay, thank you, sir. As you can see, the people in Long Island are not too sane, but John Dillinger is affecting many. Hopefully this whole bank robbing and house robbing thing will stop. Back to you in the newsroom.
And we're back here. Now we're here to talk about one of my personal favorites, something still going on today.
The Harlem Renaissance.
The Great Migration, whatever you want to call it.
New Negro movement,
That's
whatever you
another
want.
one. Well, it's really just about all these African Americans getting together, talking about their heritage.
Moving into cities together.
And moving to cities. It's a big migration, just like it's called.
Philadelphia, Chicago, New York City. You
Harlem.
all over. Harlem, in New York City. This is where the new Negro movement was centered around. It was all these people coming around. They said industrialization. People were coming, these middle-class Negroes were coming in and moving together. Everything was thriving. The economic was high. Not economic, my fault. The economy was high. Sorry, I even get some stuff wrong sometimes.
We even got jazz stemmed off the blues. We got a ton of music, great music. I was down at a jazz club the other night getting my groove on, you know. It's all
You
good.
know, it's pretty crazy how even white people were into the jazz during this
There's
time.
lots of white
Everybody's
people
going
down at
down
those
there.
clubs, man.
Everybody loves it. Everybody likes to get down a little
Music
bit.
for the fam. Everyone wants to get jiggy. Now we have a special doctor here today. His
Once
name
again, Dr. Matt Pology.
is Hambone Jambone Pelosi.
How you
Okay.
doing? Give me your main opinion. What do you think of the Harlem Renaissance?
Well, I was really intrigued by, you know, the black science of, you know, society and how they were tired of racism and how they wanted to, you know, get out of there and, you know, break ties with the fact that dead-end jobs, lame pay, and they wanted to go to a place that was more industrial, and they wanted to get good jobs. They wanted to get, you know, they wanted to start making money, and the problem was they were being judged in the South. So they wanted to get away from racism, and they went to the North, and then, they, you know, they developed clubs, and they segregated themselves together, like, you know, the Jews did in New York, and it was a community of Negroes. So I went undercover as a Negro, and segregated myself with the Negroes.
You did.
And as I did that, I realized that you started to see Negro culture become a huge part of white culture. White people would come down to jazz clubs and start getting jiggy with it. I saw Tyler down there, and he was doing
Name's not Tyler.
He was doing a duet with Duke Ellington, I saw.
Dookie, that's one
Duke
of my
Ellington,
neighbors.
one of my favorite. Willie Smith. Everybody loved
Yeah.
him. You have to
Me
love
and
these
Duke get
guys.
funky every night.
And it was great to see,
Only on
whites
queer
and blacks
ones.
come together, and I think the fact that we segregated ourselves together in different parts of one city, it made it more, more of a community of different little people.
You know, my all-time favorite definitely has to be Duke Ellington. That guy really knew how to get down, if you ask me.
Yeah, then he started blues.
He
Blues
just
came
gets
about.
my legs going, my jiggy jiggling, my
Even
nerves
as
wiggling.
two white Americans, you know how to get down. You know what? That's what you gotta talk about, the Harlem Renaissance.
Johnson & Johnson.
Preview. Coming to a theater near you. A movie of 3 stay-at-home dads living in the same house while their wives worked.
I love staying at home while my wife does all the working.
I know. Let's cook a feast for our wives for when they come home.
That's a great idea.
But there's a twist. There's an affair going on in the household.
You playing footsie with my wife, boy?
Jeremiah, you don't know that.
I'll kill him!
House Dads, the unnormal household with crazy twists, coming to a theater near you.
Swear I'll kill him. Nose.
Break.
I'm Johnson & Johnson. And now, to our sportscaster, Tony the Tiger. Touchdown.
Thanks, Johnson and Johnson. Now with sports. The New York Giants have clinched the NL pennant this year. Now they will face the New York Yankees in this year's World Series. The Giants are led by their great player Mel Ott, who has contributed a lot to their team this year. And they will face off with Murderers Row, the Yankees' 1 through 6 hitters, who consist of many great players: Earl Combs, Mark Canning, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Bob Musial, and Tony Lazzeri. It's going to be a great matchup this year, and I hope many games will come out of this, hopefully going to a Game 7 for us all. The game will be on October 8th to the 15th, and it should be a great matchup. In other news, the Green Bay Packers are this year's NFL champions, and Georgia Tech defeated University of California in the Rose Bowl this year by a whopping score of 8-7. Back to you, Johnson and Johnson.
Good year in sports, eh?
Tony, do you have any predictions for this year?
Well, I think the New York Giants football and the New York Giants baseball will both have strong years, and Johnson and Johnson are both going to have a great newscast this year.
Don't you find it strange that there's 2 New York Giants? Johnson & Johnson doesn't approve.
Don't you find it strange that you have 2 Johnsons in your name?
And back to you, Stacy.
Commercial! Commercial!
Do you smell bad and worry about what others think of you? Well, we have the new product for you.
It's called deodorant. It'll turn that terrible smell into a great one.
Got a date? Need to smell good? Put some on and attract the girl right to you.
You got an important job interview? Throw some on. There's no doubt you'll get that job.
Well, please, for the sake of everyone else, buy some deodorant.
You're not going to regret this move. We're back. We're going to give you one more topic. We're going to talk about the stock market crash, 1929, this year.
Hit me close to
Sad.
home.
Hit you, right? You want to talk about it a little bit?
Started the beginning of this year, I believe, somewhere in October. It's a panic, man. It's just a true panic.
I'm pretty smart on the stock market. I'm gonna give you a little insight on it. These brokers were giving out to these small investors more than 2/3 of the face value of the stocks on loan.
It was all margin. It wasn't even their money.
At a time, there was $8.5 billion on loan. And you know what this did? Buying at margin, if the stock market's down, this is going to kill people. And you know what happened? It dropped, including what happened at the Dust Bowl of 1920. The Dust Bowl
man.
killed
Dust
us
Bowl
too.
killed all those stocks, man. Commodities, everything down. Crops couldn't grow. Even myself, I bought on margin. I thought, hey, if it's going up, I'm not even risking my own money. What happens? I lose money. I can't pay this bank back. This happens with tons of people. Nobody can pay the banks back. So then the banks fail. Everybody fails. It's just a panic.
And you know what we did? We brought in a farmer over in farm about 2 hours away from here.
No, it's not. It's much further than that. It's
You know
in
what?
Farmville, Farmahoe.
It's in Farmville, Iowa. Sorry. You know what? We're going to give you a quick insight about this. Dust Bowl, what happened? What did it do to you?
Dust Bowl really hit me hard, you know.
Did.
I'm actually a corn farmer.
Corn.
Cash crop.
Yeah, that is cash.
I
tobacco.
It hit me hard. The Dust Bowl was a bad season. A lot of crops didn't grow. It was just tough on the whole family. Money wasn't coming in, and the money I had previously made, I actually invested in the stock market.
How'd you buy those stocks?
I actually bought those on margin.
Couldn't pay the bank back, did you?
Nah.
That's why you live under the bridge,
Yeah.
you homeless bastard.
You know what? Sorry for my partner's French there, but you know,
I like French.
1929's been a tough year right now, but going into 1930s.
I'm in a bad mood, man. It's been real upset. This whole year's been killing me, man. It's tough on me.
All we can ask for going into 1930s.
This guy smells like poop over here. He lives under the bridge next to my house. His whole cash crops is gone. He lost all his money. He can't even deal with it anymore. Look at him. He's in tears. Just like me, I'll be there next if this place ever fails.
You know what we got to think about?
10 years of filming.
We've had a great decade together, if you ask me. We've gone through the Scopes monkey trial. We've gone through Sacco and Vanzetti, the Harlem Renaissance. We've gone through the crash that just happened in the stock market. And think about everything, all the sports that's gone through. But you know what, man? It's been a great 10 years. You know what?
We got another 10 years of filming ahead of us.
You know, all we can hope for is that the stock market goes back up and hopefully we get back on our feet. Hopefully we don't go into a depression or anything.
Hopefully the 30s are even better.
You know what? Johnson & Johnson, we're signing off. You have a happy new year. Welcome to the new decade.